What's going on, guys? So it's been a while since I did a video, and I thought that why not do a video about the Netflix and Warner Brothers merger? So with this, I was not a fan of this. I don't want Warner Brothers to merge with anybody, even Paramount or even Apple or even Amazon. I want them to just stay on their own. But that's not how business works. So Netflix got it, and all of us big movie people know that Ted Sarandos is like, oh, my son watched Prince of Arabia, whatever the fuck, whatever the movie was, on my phone. I had a great experience. Like theatrical's dying. It's dead industry. Blah blah blah. So the Netflix CEO is saying this, but he's now buying a studio that releases theatrically. So that it doesn't make a lot of sense. And he seems to have softened on it, saying no, we bought Warner Brothers to get into theatrical now. But a lot of people are like, hold on, but you just said it's dead, and I'm gonna pull up this quote here of him saying that it's dead. And so when you say that, but then now you say you bought Warner Brothers to get into the theatrical business, it doesn't make a lot of sense. However, people change, so we'll hope for the best. I would love, again, for Warner Brothers to stay separate, but if Netflix is going to actually release the Warner Brother movies theatrically and keep the Netflix movies, that would be great. So, and he has spoken to that as well. So I hope that that's true. I hope it doesn't go back on that word, because it would be a huge blow to the movie industry, to the movie theater industry, and everything like that. If these Warner Brother movies have A, don't release in theaters, and B, have limited release time frames, because they don't allow movies to have legs anymore, and you need that. A perfect example of this is the Mufasa movie. It didn't start out all that great box office wise, but Disney kept it in for like 90 days in the theaters, and I think it ended up making over $700 million. Something like that is proof as to why you need to keep movies in the theaters for 45 to 90 days. So I hope Netflix does that. I pulled up the website, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look here and see what the like Netflix letter to the people is about this purchase of Warner Brothers. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so here we are, Netflix plus Warner Brothers. If you want to go to the website and take a look at everything, they also have like the letter to the stockholders, and they have the press release. It was from like almost a week ago now, I think, but you could go read that. It's like 4 or 5 pages each if you want to read that. But the website is Netflix wbtogether.com. So we'll go ahead and take a look. So this is what the layout kind of looks like. It's actually a pretty cool layout. I like the way that they have it laid out. They combine obviously each of the big franchises and stuff, and I think it just looks cool. Netflix making great even greater. As fans of Warner Brothers and their beloved brands, we want to preserve and expand on what makes them special. We're fully committed to releasing Warner Brothers films in theaters with a traditional window. Traditional now is like 30 days, 45 if you're lucky. Traditional used to mean 90. With a traditional window so audiences everywhere can enjoy them on the big screen. We plan to make sure HBO continues to create the prestige television shows that fans know and love. And with our global reach across 190 plus countries, we expect that these stories reach an even larger audience. Okay, so again, this sounds great right here. Releasing them with a traditional window so audiences everywhere can enjoy the traditional window. I hope they mean 90 days. I would assume at this upcoming CinemaCon in April, they're probably going to bring David Zaslav and Ted Sarandos out on when it's the Warner Brothers presentation and talk a little bit more about the Netflix Warner Brothers merger. But I don't know if they actually like legally can yet, since the deal won't be official for the next 12 to 18 months. But if they can, they will. If not, then it'll be April of 2027 when they do. I guarantee that's what it'll be. Okay, next up, more entertainment at a better value. By combining Warner Brothers' incredible library of shows and movies, from timeless classics like Casablanca and Citizen Kane to the modern favorites like Harry Potter's and Friends, and HBO shows like Game of Thrones and Sopranos, with Netflix's culture-defining titles like Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, and Squid Games, will be able to give fans even more variety and value. That this is basically just saying, hey, they have this, we have this, and now it's going to be on the same platform. Good job. More opportunity for the entertainment industry, creating and protecting jobs. So usually when mergers happen, people lose a lot of jobs because now, so if you have a chief financial officer one at each department or studio or whatever, you merge those two things together, you now no longer need two CFOs. So you're gonna have to figure out how to work all that out, or people just lose jobs. So this is saying that they are complementary business, which is why they plan to continue operating them independently. So they're basically, what it sounds like they're saying is that, like, hey, people that don't keep up with this stuff, they're not going to know the difference once you go out to the theater and see a Warner Brothers movie. They're just going to still think it's Warner Brothers. They're going to have no idea that Netflix is involved with it, because it's still going to operate as its own thing, which sounds great. I would love that, even if they show like the little boom like before the movie starts and then go into the Warner Brothers logo, or if they do the Netflix thing after, like this is a Netflix studio presentation, whatever. I don't care. But as long as they still feel like two different things, I'm cool with it. continue operating them independently with the teams that currently run them. So it sounds to me like everybody. Like the studio heads, like Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi. I think that they're technically studio heads. I think that's their title. They wouldn't lose their job. Sounds like David Zaslav, the CEO, wouldn't even lose his job as well. They would all just be like, they'd be like the side chick where Netflix is like, hey, all right, I know you. I'm in charge of you, but you go do your thing. That's what it sounds like to me, anyways. Over the last 4 years, we've contributed over 125 billion to the U.S. economy and hired more than 140,000 cast and crew members, filming across all 50 states. With Warner Brothers, we'll be able to do even more. Okay, next up, number 2. A new world of storytelling and storytellers. With the addition of Warner Brothers, I thought it said addiction for a second. With the addition of Warner Brothers' extensive library of beloved IP, we'll be able to build on our track record of creating stories that audiences all over the world love, and will open doors for both established and emerging creators and filmmakers to expand cherished franchises and create new worlds. So this one sounds to me like they're gonna, obviously, like in the last one, keep all this separate stuff separate, but they're also going to come together and create new IP together as an NWB. Instead of NWA, it's going to be NWB. NWB, their own franchises. So it's going to be like, okay, this is a Netflix and Warner Brothers presentation. And sometimes they'll have stuff that goes directly to Netflix, and maybe sometimes they'll have stuff that goes directly to theaters. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know, though. And last, a commitment to the theatrical experience. For more than a century, Warner Brothers has helped define the theatrical experience that audiences love on screen, and on-screen talent and below-the-line workers depend on. We understand that, which is why our plan is to release Warner Brothers movies in theaters exactly the way they are today. Okay, that sounds good too. That's all. That's pretty much self-explanatory there. Talking about the shareholders, what the offer was or whatever, and that's it. So with that, I mean, as I said before, he's on record saying that the theatrical experience is dead. You don't need the theater experience, everything like that. And it seems that his mind has softened. Maybe this is part of the deal where Warner Brothers behind closed doors said, hey, we're going to let you do this. We're going to accept your offer, but you have to commit to this regardless of how you feel, and you have to sell it that you want to do this. Maybe that's part of the deal. I'm not too sure. Or again, maybe people just change their mind. That happens. And Netflix has they've never been theatrically involved. Like they release some movies in theaters, but they're not a theatrical movie studio. They just make movies and then for the streaming, and then we'll say, hey, we think we got a good chance of winning an Oscar, so we'll throw it in theaters for a couple weeks. In that sense, it kind of makes sense to where the CEO of Netflix is saying, like, I don't know how to run the business theatrical movie theaters. Like, sure, we throw our movies in theaters here and there, but we don't know the actual like process of what it takes to do a whole studio theater development. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's a lot more different than we actually think. I don't know enough about it. But another thing that was brought to my attention as well is over on the John Campea channel a couple weeks ago, he added up the total cost of all the biggest movie theater chains, and it was, I'll tell you this, it's a lot less than 82 billion. It's about 6 billion. So obviously the government would never allow that because that would monopolize the entire movie theater industry. But the point is that why would Netflix go out of their way to spend this much extra money for something when they could have just bought a theater or two for far less and then just dismantled them? They could have done that if they truly didn't want a theatrical experience to live. And I think too that they see movies like Minecraft or Zootopia or things like that, and they're like, okay, we make K-pop D100. That's a huge animated movie that, if they knew how to do a right theatrical release, could have made a lot of money this year. So they see movies like Minecraft and Zootopia, and they know that they have an audience for kids. Kids movies are the ones that are making the most amount of money today, which is honestly surprising. So they know that they can make billions of dollars. And it's been proven every single time that if the movie is released in theaters, when it goes onto the streaming platform, it gets bigger numbers as far as viewership goes. And I think they've started to recognize that over the last few years. So I think they see that kind of opportunity there, especially with Minecraft, because Warner Brothers is a Minecraft franchise. They see that kind of opportunity and are like, okay, you know what? We can do this and we can do it great. So let's add to it. Now, I don't think they're going to be doing like, oh, Netflix movies in theaters and Warner Brothers movies in theaters. They might have those random little ones that we get a couple times every year where it's like Wake Up Dead Man and Frankenstein, how they were in theaters for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then now they're on Netflix a couple weeks later. I think they might do a couple of those, but every Warner Brothers movie, in my opinion, will still go to the theatrical experience. That's what it's sounding like, and I hope it sticks to that. Sometimes when things like this sounds great, everything we went over today, it sounds great. Sometimes when things sound this good, it's because it's too good to be true, and there's something else going on behind the scenes, or there's another plan happening to basically lie to us and flip the script. I hope that's not the case. My stance has softened. I've actually become excited now that Netflix is getting Warner Brothers. If they stick to this plan of the theatrical experience, I fully support it, and will keep me from talking shit, that's for sure. So with that, let me know down below, what do you think about this? Are you excited for it? Are you still kind of on the fence about it? Do you still completely reject it? I don't completely reject it anymore. I still wish Warner Brothers would just stay on their own, but it is what it is. Like, people like money, so things happen. I mean, I can't really blame them. Again, let me know what you think down below, and I want to try to do a video. I'm gonna try to do some little like AI imaging and kind of put together my own like user interface of what a Netflix Warner Brothers streaming app could look like, and I want to try to get some ideas together and put some of that out and be like, oh, okay, this would be cool if they did that. So I'll try to get that out. It'll be a while, but I'm gonna try to get that made. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, or I'll see you guys at the movies. Peace.